I want to make a short little video out of this. So every single day, everyone already knows, am I the asshole? And every single day, some new shit comes along. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be reading through some Am I the Asshole to see if they are the asshole. And everyone's got different opinions, everyone's got different views and stuff. Yeah. So my opinion you may not agree with, and that's okay, because that's what makes us different. But without further ado, let's just see. I'm gonna read the ones that are interesting. Am I the asshole for walking out on my date as soon as she told me she had 5 kids from 3 different fathers? This seems interesting. Let's see. I was on a first date with a woman who said she was 32 that I met on an online dating site. I met her at the restaurant, and the first thing that I noticed was she looked very little like her pictures. I wouldn't call it a catfish, but she did wonders with her angle choices and usage of filters to present herself as best as possible in her profile. The deception instantly turned me off, but I decided to proceed with the date anyways. After our drinks arrive, but before our food arrives, while getting to know each other, she tells me she has 5 kids. I know from our brief online interaction that she has never been married, so I pretty bluntly ask if they all have the same father, and she says no. She doesn't say how many baby daddies she has unprompted, so I bluntly ask with how many men, and she seemed embarrassed to answer, then says 3. My response was wow, and we both sat there in silence for about 30 seconds as I desperately tried to not burst out into laughter. I'm not sure why I found the situation so funny. Maybe it was a nervous tick. I tell her I don't see this going anywhere. Leave enough money on the table for my drink and the food I ordered, and walked out without any further conversation. I wanted to say you should disclose you have 5 kids with 3 different men on your profile to prevent from wasting people's time, but I didn't want to add insult to injury knowing I was about to walk out of. And I suppose I could have asked before meeting her. Interesting. Let's see what people say. At least she told you on the first date and was truthful. Could have told them before the day and saved both of their times. This is my brother-in-law, 40, divorced with 2 kids, ambitious they can only get with. Okay, so is he the asshole for walking out on his date as soon as she told him that she had 5 kids from 3 different fathers? I kind of agree with the bottom comment where, I mean, at least she did tell you, so she was being truthful, and she could have also put it on her profile that she has 5 kids, because some people are not looking for that, you know. And then he's saying he kind of got like catfish, but like not really. I'll say it could have been handled differently. I would say he is like an asshole, I guess, for walking out, and he could have handled it differently. Is what I would say. This one's got 12K upvotes. So it must be crazy, no? Let's see this one. It sounds pretty interesting. Am I the asshole for being upset that my husband of 8 years came out as gay, wants a divorce, and is trying to take everything, including our kids? I, 33 female, have been married to my husband, 34 male, for 8 years, and we have 2 beautiful children together, 6 female and 4 male. Up until recently, I thought we had a good marriage. We've had our ups and downs, but nothing that's ever made me think he was unhappy or that our relationship was falling apart. A few months ago, my husband sat me down and told me he was gay, and has only recently realized it. He says he needs to live his truth and wants a divorce. I was blindsided. I never saw this coming, and I feel like my entire world has been flipped upside down. I understand that this is a big moment for him, and I want to be supportive, but I'm also hurt, angry, and heartbroken. Here's where things get worse. Not only is he asking for divorce, but he's also trying to take almost everything in the process. He's the main breadwinner in our family, and because of that, he's arguing that he should get most of our assets, including the house. We both contributed to our savings and household, but his salary is higher. He feels entitled to more. And if that wasn't enough, he's also filing for full custody of our kids. He says he's been a very involved father, which is true, but I'm just as involved, if not more. I've been the primary caregiver since they were born. Yes, I've struggled with anxiety and depression in the past, but I've worked hard to manage it and be there for our children. Now he's using that against me to try and take them away. I feel like he's not just ending our marriage, but he's ripping my entire life apart. I get that he's going through a lot, but I don't think it's fair that he's trying to take everything, our home, our savings, and worst of all, our children. I feel like he's being selfish, trying to secure his future at the expense of mine and the kids. It's like I'm being punished for something I had no control over. He says I'm being unreasonable for not wanting to let him take the lead in the divorce, or for being upset about what he's asking for. He claims he's trying to be fair, but I can't help but feel like I'm being taken advantage of. So am I the asshole for being upset that my husband wants a divorce? He's trying to take most of our assets and is fighting for full custody of our kids? Or am I overreacting because I'm emotional right now? Update, I'm receiving a lot of negative message from r/am I the angel subreddit and in my inbox, so I won't be responding further to keep my situation private. I just wanted to seek advice. Thank you for everyone who has offered guidance on what to do next. Damn, this got 12K upvotes. I feel like from this, isn't it easy? Like, I don't think she's the asshole for being upset that her husband of 8 years came out as gay, wants a divorce, and trying to take everything, including the children. Alright, next. What about this? Am I the asshole for refusing to help my sister with her kids after she slept with my husband? Off the title? No, I don't think you're the asshole. I, 29F, have been married to my husband, 31F, for 6 years. My older sister, 32F, has always been someone I looked up to, even though our relationship has been rocky at times. She's married with 2 young kids, and I've always gone out of my way to support her and be the best aunt I can. Okay, so last year I found out that my husband cheated on me with her, sending new pics, etc. I found out that these text messages, they completely broke me. When I confronted both of them, they apologized profusely, and my husband swore it was a mistake and that he wanted to work things out. My sister cried and said it was a one-time thing and that she was so ashamed. As far as I know, pics were exchanged, but nothing happened between them IRL. But honestly, I can never look at her the same way after that. I decided to try to make the marriage work, which looking back I'm not sure was the right decision. But I completely cut my sister off. I didn't talk to her for almost a year. My family knows about what happened, but they've tried to brush it under the rug, saying people make mistakes and that I should forgive her because she's family. Now here's where things get messy again. My sister's husband had to go away for work and she's been overwhelmed taking care of their kids on her own. She reached out to me begging for help. She said she's exhausted and really needs a break and that her kids miss me. I told her no, I'm still furious about what she did and I don't feel like I owe her anything owe her anything after what she put me through. She started crying, saying she's sorry and that I'm being cruel for punishing her for when she's already feeling so guilty. My parents are now siding with her, saying that I'm being heartless and I need to let it go for the sake of the kids. But honestly, I just can't. The betrayal was too deep. I'm still working through the pain of what happened. I feel guilty about not honoring her kids because I love them. I don't want anything to do with her right now. Yo, what is up, Jane Frost? No, I don't think she's the asshole. I'm reading through Am I the Asshole because every day there's something new. And I think it's kind of interesting. This seems interesting with 6,000 upvotes. Am I the asshole for completely cutting my wife off from our finances because she wouldn't stop ordering takeout? I am 41 years old male and wife is 39-year-old female. My wife doesn't work due to a minor disability. It's not as if she can't work, but she complains of discomfort and exhaustion all the time. The discussion over her working basically ended 5 years ago, and I've completely given up on the prospect of her ever having a job again. Seeing as she doesn't even come close to qualifying for disability and brings in no income, we currently live entirely off of my salary. I do not mind financially supporting her, but my wife's spending habits have gradually become more and more reckless. It began with her ordering takeout twice a week, and that escalated into 3 times a week, and now she's ordering takeout nearly every day. This is all despite our fridge being constantly stocked constantly. I do the shopping and I make sure to even keep our freezer full of things she would only have to microwave. Last month was a particularly heavy one for her. She spent $1,176 on delivery apps alone. We cannot afford this. There were several days that she ordered twice. I may have reacted harshly, but on Friday I pulled money out of our savings, completely paid off the card, and then canceled it. I then removed all the money from our joint accounts and funneled it into my own account. Apparently my wife learned this when she tried to order takeout. She tried to call the company, who explained the card had been canceled. She texted me asking what happened, and I responded that she was cut off. Well, when I walked in the door that evening, my wife was lying on the floor, dramatically saying that she had low blood sugar. I told her she could eat any of the food we have in our fridge or freezer. I also noticed she took the garbage out, probably for the first time in a decade. I'm surprised she even knew where the outdoor bin was. I can only assume she was disposing of the evidence of what she ate, as she was pretending to have not eaten. But I honestly don't care enough to dig through the garbage to find out. She was furious at me all weekend. Was what I did over the top? I don't think he's the asshole. Am I the asshole for not donating my kidney to my brother after he bullied me for years? Wait, what is this? This is an update. Oh, this is interesting. Alright, we'll do this for the last one for this Am I the Asshole video. Okay. So, no to orgasms. Am I the asshole for wanting to orgasm? Long story, TLDR at the bottom. Also, I should probably put a warning. If, I don't know, you're under a certain age and you're uncomfortable discussing sexual themes, then you should probably click off at this point in the video. But I'm kind of interested in, you know, this whole thing, this whole situation, and they have an update, so I know I'm gonna read both. So as you can see, it's not safe for work. So I'm warning you right now. This is your warning, your chance to click off the video. You've been warned. I could do a long story TLDR. Nah, whatever, fuck it. I'll read the whole thing. So I, 38 female, was raised in a religious house. I'm no longer religious, but because of this, sex was kind of a no-no situation, and that included masturbation. I admit I tried a few times as a teen, but nothing came out of it. No orgasm. I met my husband, 40M, after leaving home, and we waited for marriage to have sex. When we did start having sex, my husband always told me he loved the way I orgasmed on him. I didn't feel much different, so I asked him about it, and he said I would squeeze harder down there when it actually happened. I told him I didn't notice it much, and he told me that everyone hyped it up to be more than it actually was, and that I was in fact orgasming. I went to my OB recently for other issues, and he noticed some sensitivity I had down there. He started asking me about it affecting my sex life, and I explained what my husband told me and how I had not noticed it much. He was quiet for a minute, then asked me questions about if I masturbated, and I told him how I tried, but it never went anywhere for me. He left the room and a female nurse came in to talk to me. She started explaining things about nerves in the vagina and how female orgasms usually work. She even told me a few things to go home and try to see if I was able to. She suggested I give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, report it to my OB, so we can all make sure my nerves are functioning properly and there's no underlying issues we need to know about. I was hesitant, but later in the week my husband had to work late and I used that time to try some stuff out. It worked and I had my first real orgasm. I admit I was so excited. I did it a few more times to be sure I wasn't just making it up in my head. It was simple and easy too. All I needed was a rub in the right spot, basically. I waited until the next time my husband asked for sex to show him, and when he asked me where I learned this, I explained my doctor visit and everything, and he got angry. He said I already orgasmed during sex, even though I don't feel it, and that I should be happy with that. I told him it wasn't difficult to do this one extra thing during sex, and I didn't see the problem because we both orgasmed in the end. He said he didn't want to be bothered with it, and that if I was going to insist, we shouldn't have sex anymore. I agreed and told him we would not until he came to his senses and realized this is not a difficult ask. He said if we're not having sex anymore, we should just divorce so he could find someone else. I told him good luck because with a dead sex life, failed 10-year marriage, and 2 kids, baggage, he won't have many options. Am I the asshole for any of this? Advice, please. TLDR, never orgasm, learned how, pissed off the husband because he doesn't want to do anything, but PIV is penis and vagina sex. Now wants divorce because I refused sex and I told him good luck because he has a dead sex life. Failed 10-year marriage and 2 kids as his baggage. Am I the asshole for any of this? Advice, please. Despite some beliefs, yes, this is a real post. There are a lot of comments and I'm trying my best to work through them. Thank you all for being so supportive so far. My husband and I aren't currently speaking. However, he did come into the kitchen earlier and said he wasn't serious about the divorce yet. I plan to give him time to calm down, and we'll try to talk to him tomorrow. Let's see what people are saying. I think your husband's childish reaction comes from the realization that he never made an orgasm. It's very good you finally managed to ring your bell. Not that, so. Do you really think he thought he was pretty good and this just hits his ego? Sounds like he probably never made his previous wife orgasm either then. That is pretty crazy, just because they don't want to have sex. But let's see the update. Trigger warning. Childhood SA. Trigger warning again. Everyone that's watching this video, whoever is watching this video, this is your warning. So I finally sat my husband down to talk and he wasn't happy about it. He kept saying he didn't want to do it, touching/rubbing. Nor did he want to witness me doing it to myself. I kept asking why he had a problem with it, and finally he exploded. He explained to me in detail what his now deceased grandmother used to do to him every time he spent the night with her. It was awful and wrong, and my poor husband hated it. He explained that he never told because his grandmother said she would blame him and say he assaulted her and have him sent to military school. He said because of her, he doesn't find doing those things sexy or fun, but disgusting. After he told me, we were both silent for a while. He mentioned that I was the only one he had told before. I suggested therapy and he surprisingly agreed. He said if all goes well, he will one day be able to help me in the bedroom. We agreed to no sex until he is comfortable enough to participate with me. Masturbation is allowed, but in private for now. He started therapy and seems more relaxed and happier. The life-changing part for me is a different perspective I have of the situation now. Initially, I thought he was being an awful husband. Now I know most of it is trauma-based. That's my update for now. If interested, I may update again on my profile once we go back in the bedroom. Bye, guys. No, husband is not only aware of this post, but pre-approved what I said here himself. I told him about my original post and showed him and promised not to update if that's what he wanted. After his first therapy session, he said go ahead and update it. So I wrote this and showed him ahead of posting. He has since been to therapy again. His grandmother made him rub her. OMG, this is awful and I'm glad he's getting help. I know, right? It's heartbreaking. It's so unbelievably sad. She probably ruined sex for him and many romantic relationships all of his life. While I didn't say she made him rub her, it's abuse, and all abuse is messed up. I prefer not to add any more details, as apparently the little I said is extreme to some Reddit users. So his grandmother abused him as a child. Am I the asshole? So it's just a misunderstanding. All in all. Okay, 20 minutes. It's a 20-minute long video. If you like this and you want me to do more, just comment down below. If you want me to do anything else, comment down below. Like, sub, comments. And yeah, I hope you guys have I hope you guys all have an amazing day, amazing night, wherever you are. Peace. I love y'all. Peace.